I'm very happy. I really think that like anything in life that's worth having is worth working hard for, because the reward is it's so awesome. I had help from my friends and people who supported me, but like I did this. I got myself here, and that feels great.
Hey friends, it's your girl Emily Curl back in my virtual studio, and today our guest, she is woman, she is sexy, she is divine. We have Emmy Meli here with us. Hi, Emmy.
Hi, good to see you. How are you?
So good to see you. You know, I love I Am Woman, so of course we've got to dive in and talk about that right away.
Yes, let's do it.
So your life is like, I feel like it's been a full 180 for you, has it?
Oh, it's been a full 360. My life got flipped upside down in the best way, though. Like literally in the best way. I was really thinking that half of the stuff that we have worked on and accomplished and that I've done in the last 2 months, I think it's really only been 2 months since the song has been out. I really didn't think that half that stuff was going to happen to me until I was at least like 25, 26, and had been grinding for years and years and years and years. And then it all happened. It all just happened like that.
It's
like,
wild.
Years, yeah. It's really crazy.
And like we mentioned, we're kicking off Women's History Month, and your song, I Am Woman, is just a perfect testament to how layered and beautiful and complex women are. Take me back to the origination of that song. Where did you first get the idea that you wanted to write something like that?
So at first I didn't. It actually was, I just had a dream, and the dream kind of led me to writing these little mantras for myself every day. And I picked things that were personal to me. Like I picked things that I thought were unique about my personality, such as, you know, the feminine masculine line, and the fact that I see myself as very creative and fearless and unbeatable, because I've always kind of had that mentality that like no one and nothing is ever going to stop me. So I really was just picking out some stuff about myself that I was putting into little mantras, and saying it throughout my day. And then I was at band practice, I was at rehearsal, and two of my guitarists, who are so amazing, they just like to jam together sometimes. Like when we're done rehearsing, they'll just start playing a groove and we all just jam out, which is my favorite part, to be honest. And they just started playing something that was so incredibly cool, and it just came out. Like I just started singing those mantras that I'd been saying to myself because it flowed and it worked and it felt good. And then I went home and found a random beat on YouTube and posted it to TikTok.
The rest was history.
It was like a la la la, this is cool. Like maybe somebody will hear it that needs to hear this message, you know? And turned my phone off and went about the rest of my night. I didn't even check the app until the next day when I woke up and my friends were like, Emily, open TikTok, like go look at what's happening to you. And I think literally within like 24 hours, it was at like 1 million something.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because I feel like, especially for creators and artists, social media is such a huge part of it right now, especially TikTok. Yeah. How would you describe your relationship with social media at this moment?
My relationship with social media has definitely changed. I think now I view it more as a tool, because it is part of my job, and it is part of, you know, how I can get my music and my art and the things that I'm working on out to the world. But I can't really just like mindlessly scroll on TikTok anymore, which was a little bit of a bummer at first, because everybody loves to just lay in bed and mindlessly scroll on their TikTok.
And it's so hard to stop. It's like once you get started, you can't stop.
I can't really read comments anymore, or at least I try not to, because I'm sure you can imagine, like, our brains aren't built to intake. Our brains are not built to intake that much media at once, not many people at once. It's just part of like preserving your mental health. So I really try to like stay off of the app for anything more than just using it as a tool and communicating with my fans. It definitely has changed. It's made it a little bit more of like a public forum, because it's no longer like my personal page. It's no longer like Emily Meli's Instagram. It's a public place now.
Yeah. I mean, and having such a big, like your world changed so drastically, so fast. How has that changed your personal relationships in your life, or has it?
Honestly, it hasn't. And I think that I'm very lucky in saying that, or at least it hasn't so far.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky because most of my friends that are out here with me are also artists in their own way, shape, and form. Like, I'm friends with mainly people who do photography. I have a couple friends who run a podcast. One is a painter. Like, everybody that I am best friends with is an artist in their own way. So they get it. They get how busy it is, and they understand how, like you said, my life completely changed. So they're really just supporting me and letting me take the time to kind of adjust to everything that has happened. And I feel bad sometimes because I am that person who just will never, ever, ever respond. Like, I'm that person
yeah,
doesn't respond. And it's not because I don't want to. It's because every day I wake up and my phone is already flooded with messages. It's like already flooded. And so
is that mentally exhausting for you, or is it exciting? Like, what does that evoke in you?
A little bit of both. I really appreciate now when I do have days off and when I wake up and my phone isn't flooded with messages. But in a way, it also has created better habits in me, because now I really make sure that I take at least an hour after I get out of bed and I play wake up meditation music. I do my thing. I do my skincare routine. I just go out in like the outside world and like stand in the sun and kind of like stretch for a second and just let myself be grounded and actually have that time in the morning to be a human being, like to wake up and center myself and actually allow my brain to like get ready for the day and not have to.
Which is so important. Yeah.
So important. And you know what? I used to be in such a habit of just waking up and scrolling on my phone. I feel like everybody does that. Totally. And I really noticed such a change in the way I'm able to handle those everyday tasks when I do give myself the time to actually wake up and be a person. So that's a positive thing, I think.
And speaking of relationships, do you have the time? Like, are you dating? Do you want a romantic relationship? Is that something that you're thinking about right now?
I actually am in over a year-long relationship with my bass player.
Oh my God. So how has all this been like for y'all's relationship?
Honestly, it has proven to be like kind of interesting because it's an adjustment for him too. Because while we were busy before, like he's a musician also, he's in my band. He's actually helped me with a lot of music stuff. He connected me with some of the other people that are in my band. And he's very supportive. So I do really enjoy dating another musician because I feel like only other musicians are able to get it.
I can imagine that is like it's a bonding experience, right? Like
it is, because they're the only people who are actually going to understand like the level of hard work and effort and commitment you have to put in your career, because at the end of the day, like your career comes first, and he understands that. So I think it gives us like a healthy open line of communication to where if something's not working, we're able to talk about it. And like I said, it's an adjustment period for everybody, because like we were busy before, but now it's just a whole other level of life. Like it's a whole other ball game. So it's taken a few like conversations, and we had to like figure out how we're gonna settle into this new routine and what it's gonna look like. But right now we're really happy. So focusing on that.
That's so good. I mean, yeah, because it's tough. I feel like for you, like when you think about your life like a year ago from today, maybe, like what part of your life specifically looks the most different?
I don't get to just lay in bed for like a couple hours like when I wake up anymore.
Because it is like nonstop always. Is that you doing your own schedule of creating and like writing, or is that just obligations? Like what does that look like, or both?
It's both because I take this stuff so seriously that if I'm just like laying around doing nothing, it feels like I'm not doing enough. Like I don't have time to just like slack off and lay down and like do nothing anymore. I don't have that luxury. And I enjoy it. I don't like being, just sitting there. It drives me nuts. And maybe that's just the Sagittarius in me. Like maybe I just am a busybody. But yeah. I feel like a year or so ago, I was working a minimum wage job, and I really did have a lot more free time to just kind of, la-di-da, like maybe I'll go out tonight, maybe I'll do this. I was still doing music, of course, but it was different. And as time went by, I kind of realized like, if you're going to make it happen for yourself, you can't really live like everybody else.
So true. And like, you have to make it happen for yourself. Like you said, it's like, it's not luck. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of trial and error, and it's a lot of figuring it out.
And yeah, like I said, like I was still pursuing music, but things really took off when I decided to actually do something with the music that I was releasing. And I did a bunch of research. I was doing all my own promo stuff. I was submitting my own music to blogs and playlists. I was getting a band together. I started playing shows. I started doing more and actually like putting myself out there, and it got me here. So I'm very happy. I really think that like anything in life that's worth having is worth working hard for, because the reward is it's so awesome to know that to stand here and think like I had help from my friends and people who supported me, but like I did this. I got myself here, and that feels great.
That's powerful too, because I feel like when you daydream about success, right? And then you get it, it looks a little different than maybe what you thought. Like having this success, and maybe as you've gotten a little older, like how do you define the term success now for you?
To me, success is making a life for yourself and being happy with the person that you are while doing the things that you love. So while, of course, my biggest dream is to be, you know, a huge star. I'm sorry, that's just
and own it and claim it. Yeah.
I want to be a legend. I want to leave an imprint. I want to make a difference and say things that other people might not be saying, as you can see with this song. But what really defines success to me is the fact that I'm going to stay who I am throughout it all while doing what I love. Like, I'm not going to let anybody or anything change me. I'm going to do things my way. And that is how I feel that I'm successful, you know? Not letting like outside forces shape me or change me or like take me away from who I actually am.
Do you feel like this is the happiest you've been, or do you feel really happy and content?
I'm incredibly happy, and honestly, I'm a little bit relieved because, like I said, I didn't think any of this was going to happen for me for years and years. And I'm pretty sure my parents were kind of starting to sweat a little too, because they were like, well, they saw like how drained I was and how hard I was working. You know, it's not easy to, you know, work 2 jobs, and then music is also like, it's a whole other job. People don't realize like how much hard work actually goes into doing everything yourself as an independent artist. Like, it's not easy, especially playing shows and pay to play. It's not easy. Selling tickets, not easy. So I'm really breathing like a little sigh of relief to know that I now have a career ahead of me. Like, the hard work doesn't stop. It just changes.
But it's like now we're at a base. It's like now we made it.
Like I made it to the starting line, if that makes sense.
Totally does. I mean, there's so many inspiring women out there too. Who's like badass female energy do you channel, like when you need a little extra muscle?
I really admire some of the biggest stars, actually. I think Lady Gaga is an incredibly inspiring and strong female artist who has done so much and left such an imprint and always remained who she wanted to be and the type of human being that she wanted to be, and has done so much for so many different communities. And I have admired her since I was like basically a child. I went on the Joanne tour with my friend, and there was a moment when we were in the crowd and she was singing and we were just crying, and she looked over to me and she was like, "That's gonna be you." And I was like, not only is she just like one of the most incredible performers I've ever seen, but her live vocals are impeccable. And that is a standard that I've always held myself to. It's always been so important for me to work and train hard and have the technique to be able to sound even better live. So I do take like pride in that, because that's something I've really worked on. And it honestly, a lot of it is inspired by her. And that moment, like when my best friend turned to me and was like, "That's going to be you someday."
It's so inspiring. And that's why I love this series too, because it is so incredible to see like what women are doing and the strides that we're making in music.
It's really incredible. I'm proud. Like I'm proud and honored to even be a woman in the industry. And I'm considered a woman in the industry now, which is an honor in and of itself.
Tell us a little bit about what else can we expect from Emmy Meli coming up.
So I have a lot of new music coming, actually. I know I Am Woman is still out here making moves and getting up there on Billboard. And
I told you, I am still obsessed with that song. Every time I see you, I sing some of it too, but it's so good.
But I'm over here like getting super, super, super excited to give everybody these new tracks from the EP. So I'm really hoping to get out and play some shows in March out here in the LA area before touring in the summertime. I'm really hoping, COVID allowing, that tour.
Fingers crossed.
Happen. Yeah. This summer. And I'm really hoping to give you guys this EP in spring, like April, May.
Well, Emmy, congratulations again on everything. We're so excited for you. And thank you so much again for taking the time today.
Yes, thank you as well. I'm really happy to be able to have these conversations with you guys.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeartRadio. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.